From the forest moon of Endor, this is the Rebel Scum podcast. The tale of two galactic scoundrels talking into microphones about Star Wars. On today's show, an all-new Tell That to Conja Club. Will Luke wield a white lightsaber? Could it be Anakin's? What will be Kylo Ren's new look? A mysterious connection between Rey and Kylo Ren. Plus, Never Tell Me the Odds, Holo News, underrated characters, books, and comics. An all-new top 5 selected by one of our viewers. Now, from Wicked's spare room, here are Brock and James. I just want to start the show by saying that midi-chlorians exist, whether you want to call them that or not. Hello, everyone. This is the Rebel Scum podcast. I'm James, joined with
Brock.
And this is episode number 29, as you can see right there. And it is an awesome week in Star Wars because huge news came out on Wednesday. On Wednesday, it was revealed that it looks like the trailer for episode 8, The Last Jedi, Star Wars The Last Jedi, whatever you want to call it, will be premiered at Celebration on April 14th. This is an assumption on my part.
Really?
With the panel. It's the panel, though, with Rian Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy, and they said plenty of surprises.
Interesting.
Yes. So.
Wow. I did not know that. Thank you.
Yes. So
that's where I get all mine, dude.
So you and I will be there. And Andrew Fantasia will also be there. And my wife, Erin, got her ticket for that day as well.
Nice.
We will all be there at 2 a.m. lining up to get in for that panel.
Oh, God. Are you?
I have no idea, but I've never been to one of these things. So my guess is.
I feel like a celebration, like I've gone to a lot of conventions. I'm a big deal. I haven't been to the American ones, but like I've read about what happens at San Diego, and I've read what happens at the big American conventions, and like you can't go to one and then go to the next one an hour later. I mean that's actually any convention's kind of like that on the busy day, but I feel like Celebration, it's exclusive to that. Like everybody's buying tickets. Everyone's gonna want to go. So like you buy the VIP, you get front row. I feel because what was the VIP ticket like $400?
It was like $800, I think.
Oh my God! Yeah, like they should be able to sit in everything. Yes. Well, I mean, do they have a fully functional schedule yet, or is it just announced?
No, the Star Wars show actually announced this, and I hadn't watched the Star Wars show at the point. I saw a tweet by Pablo Hidalgo, and then I watched the Star Wars show, and then Star Wars Celebration Instagram posted it out as well. So that's where all this information comes from. But all the signs have been pointing to this trailer coming out on at Celebration, and they say there are 2 cuts of the trailer. I don't know if you've heard this or not. One with barely any Luke Skywalker, and one with three scenes or 3 shots of Skywalker.
No, I did not know that. And I was actually going to say, like, what do you think? Are we going to see Snoke in some trailers?
I could run down what apparently the trailer they say is in the trailer, this thing, or I didn't put this in the rundown for today's show because I didn't know if we wanted to do the spoiler thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can find this online. There are other Star Wars channels that do talk about it.
Yeah.
If you want to search for it,
or you can stay here and just be surprised.
Well, this is the thing. Like, I don't know if anybody wants to be like, do you want this taken away from you? Because I started hearing it, then I was like, I wish I didn't, but because of this show, I kind of felt like maybe I should. And also, everyone starts off. Well, the good people, the ones with skill, they say take it with a grain of salt. Nothing is confirmed. It's somebody who somehow saw a version of it, and I never found out exactly who or how. Well, I don't think anyone said who it is.
I mean, you gotta look at like the past experience we've had with the new Star Wars films. Like, think of watching Rogue One and think of Force Awakens. It doesn't really reveal much. I mean, it gives you a hint of what's going to...
They actually... I'll just tell you how the trailer apparently starts.
Yeah.
This is how it starts. And this is all a rumor. Take it as you will.
Yeah.
If you don't want to hear it,
yeah.
We're not going to spoil anything, I don't think. But apparently this starts exactly how the teaser for Force Awakens starts, with Finn waking up in a cold sweat. Mm-hmm. But now he's in a room, and then apparently Poe comes into that room.
Ooh, that would be kind of cool if they kind of duplicated it as best they could.
Yeah. No, but then after that, it really changes. And I do kind of want to talk about it, but we will not.
Yeah. I mean,
we don't want to spoil anything for you, and we don't know if it's true or not, but I will say that Snoke says something that I found very intriguing, and maybe I'll do a 0.5 podcast episode on what Snoke says, and maybe dive into that a little bit.
mean, we're gonna go to Celebration and inevitably see these things.
It's less than 2 months now.
Yeah, and I mean, once we get to that, I don't think we should say we'll never reveal spoilers, but I mean, we already.
I think what we'll do is,
you know what I mean, like
when we're there, we're going to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Every day,
Yeah.
every day after every
Yeah.
celebration, we will go podcast to inform you guys of what went down from our point of view.
Yeah.
And maybe when the trailer comes up, we'll do a separate, maybe a little 5-minute version.
Exactly.
Where if you just want to see what the trailer that we saw is, maybe we'll do that way. That way, if you don't want to, you can skip that. But we really would appreciate it if you stuck around.
Yeah.
It. But anyway, let's move on to episode number 29. We'll get away from this now.
Episode 29.
And we will talk about Luke Skywalker is in it. And apparently, one shot you see off of someone's helmet. I'm not going to say who. It's not Kylo Ren. Someone's helmet. You see a blue flare on the helmet. So anyway, but let's talk about the possibility of Luke Skywalker receiving Anakin's lightsaber, his father's lightsaber from Rey.
Yeah.
And I kind of, after last week's episode when we spoke about how maybe he will be the gray Jedi.
Yeah, which I think a lot of people commented that it's like, I don't really like that, or I think they all kind of, I'm not saying they agree with me, but like, it's a cool theory, but like as I said last week, it's not in the movies, so it's like and it feels like it's not even a Lucasfilm thing.
It is.
I mean, it is.
No,
I know
totally.
it is,
like, but Disney is pushing us in this direction. I think it's gonna end with the idea of no Jedi, and it's gonna be gray, and it's gonna be Rey's gonna be.
Oh yeah, I'm all for that, I guess, because I mean that's what we talked about last week, but
that'd be cool. You gotta keep the lore going.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Like you say that, but our Kyber crystals didn't exist until Rogue One for the mass audience.
Yeah.
So I mean, there are things that happen that they don't know, and Disney is very much pushing this gray Jedi on us. Like the Ahsoka novel goes out of its way to tell us how crystals get their color. And lose their color, right?
Yeah.
Like they really want this lore on people. Like Rebels has got they want you, the Bendu, they want you to know about this space between.
Good point.
They do. But now, wouldn't it be cool if Luke, because there's rumors that Luke might not have a lightsaber,
Right.
which is weird. How do you train a new Jedi Order if you don't have a lightsaber?
But there was talk that like he fights Kylo.
Yes.
So
he gets
because they blow up beehives or something like that.
But he gets Anakin's back though. So he.
Oh, okay. I see.
So, yeah.
You're saying that he doesn't use that lightsaber.
That one. So what I thought would be cool is if he had a white lightsaber.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Right? Because we know now from the Ahsoka novel, which I just mentioned, that a Sith cannot get a Kyber crystal. They have to kill a Jedi to get their crystal. And then when they touch the crystal, physically touch it apparently because they changed, because, nothing else, it doesn't make sense. But it just doesn't. They shoehorn this in.
I can kind of buy it. It just doesn't fit with what we've known about Kyber crystals for a while now.
Yeah, so whatever. But so I thought it would be cool if Luke had instead of a green, instead of a red, and this fits in with the gray Jedi, but if he had a white one. And,
that would be sweet.
But then I was thinking, where could he?
So which one's white? Like Anakin's or a new lightsaber?
A new lightsaber.
Okay.
But so I thought it'd be really cool if he had a white lightsaber, because we've never really seen that on screen.
Yeah.
Right? But we know it's there, and it would be so different if he had a white lightsaber. And then the question is, where does he get this white lightsaber?
Right.
This brings me up to my next point, which is very dramatically coming in.
Daryl, go faster. Oh wait, Daryl's not here. So he's using.
What? Okay, so now everyone's like, but he threw it, or it goes down. He cuts his hand off and he loses.
Yeah,
his
and
lightsaber.
Kylo has his helmet, for crying out loud. So
Yeah, Kylo has his helmet. Maz gets Anakin's lightsaber.
yeah.
Go before you lose this.
Then Side Akbar, perhaps Luke and Ben find. Wait, that doesn't make sense either.
Okay.
Like, how does Kylo have the helmet? It would work somehow together if Kylo has the helmet and Luke has the lightsaber, and they found it together, and then whatever that event was is what caused the rift. But then I don't get that the reason, because the lightsaber makes sense because his hand was cut off and he just went into space. The helmet was on him when they burned him on Endor.
Yeah, I know they put up the acolytes of the Beyond, who are Vader obsessors or Sith obsessors.
Right,
and
right,
they've
right.
been collecting all the memorabilia and artifacts. So that's where I would think Vader's. And in the book, they do kind of hint that that's where Vader's lightsaber went. But what if Luke somehow got it back and he healed it and he wanted to heal it? And that's why he has a white lightsaber. And he's using Vader's lightsaber, and it's a white lightsaber, and Vader's old.
I like that. I think that is a way you can kind of incorporate the gray Jedi. Though my worry is because Ahsoka is kind of considered a gray Jedi, or is she assumed to be a full gray Jedi? Or
I don't. She's somewhere.
And she has the white lightsabers. If he then is now a gray Jedi. And he is. I think people start associating those two. I love that idea though, because it would fit. Because Luke was so like, I'm here. I'm a Jedi. I'm gonna rebuild the Order. Something has to happen. So maybe something's pushed him almost to the dark side, or no, not the dark side. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like whenever you see a white lightsaber, it's like recuperating from some kind of trauma.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that would be great. And it could just be then what has happened to the green lightsaber, I guess is the question.
It's in storage.
It's in storage. The white lightsaber is just Wednesday.
Okay. This does not help him using Vader's, but he does throw his green lightsaber away in Return of the Jedi. He's like, "No, I'm a Jedi."
Oh,
and he throws it. So maybe he never went back for it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But then the question is, why wouldn't anybody want that lightsaber also?
Yeah.
I mean, if his survived Bespin or Bespin as the Shadows of the Empire, why wouldn't anybody want his? Or maybe nobody really knows about his because Luke, up until that point, wasn't really known as a Jedi. He wasn't known as much.
No, yeah. And now that I think about it, it's like him throwing away the green lightsaber. It's like, wow, they really don't care about lightsabers. And yet, if you incorporate the white lightsaber, then you create like a value to lightsabers. I think there is a value. Like, that's their main weapon. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If you create the idea that you can take a evil, corrupted kyber crystal and then return it to the Force, or the good side of the Force. Man. To answer your initial question, yes, I like it. But at the same note, once you start thinking about it, it's like it
doesn't make sense, but it also
futzes with it, you know?
It also makes sense that Maz Kanata has Luke's lightsaber.
Because like a kyber crystal, which is what allows the lightsaber to be like a weapon, is like attuned with the Force. And then it selects its Force wielder. So like the fact that you could corrupt it seems weird. You know what I mean? I feel like it should be stronger than the Force wielder. You know what I mean? It's a channel. It's a way to channel your.
Look, I didn't make this. This is from the Ahsoka novel,
I
which
know,
is
I know,
canon,
I know.
and so they could.
Okay.
Now
we're still friends.
Here's a question for you. So let's go with he's using
Yeah.
Vader's lightsaber, which he's probably not, but it would be so awesome if he was. And it's
Oh, yeah.
white.
Oh, yeah.
And it's white. Here's another question for you: whose crystal did Vader use for his lightsaber?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because that's now a question. It's someone that he killed, obviously.
I can value this, like, where if they could go somewhere with the lightsaber stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the movies, but like, well, maybe read it in comics or books, which the Ahsoka novel is doing. Because it's true. You don't. I was gonna bring this up as like the white lightsaber theory is cool, or well, not theory. The process is cool, but yeah, you never see a Sith make a lightsaber. So you're right. I mean, I'm sure. Who does he kill?
He kills them all.
He kills them all.
He doesn't kill Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, which would be my two. It can't be Qui-Gon's. Can't be Yoda, obviously. Can't be Obi-Wan's. So
do the younglings have lightsabers? No.
Yeah, they do. In the Jedi Temple, they all have. When they're training with Yoda.
Yeah, but like that's an episode on Clone Wars where they go to that.
Yeah.
But
they're in the movie too.
They're in the yeah, that's true. I know, but I guess yeah. Okay, that's man. What is it? It's a good question. They could just make a movie about lightsabers. Like
I know. I think we'll find this out in a book. Who do you guys think is in Vader's, because now it's actually a real question. I just thought of this on the show.
Yeah.
But it's a question: whose crystal was Vader using? Is it important? Is it not important?
Yeah,
I think they should make
yeah.
it important.
Yeah.
It should be somebody. Maybe it could be like, because we don't know when he gets his red lightsaber, because he uses his blue one until the fight on Mustafar.
Yeah.
And so, who does he kill? Whose lightsaber is it?
Does Obi-Wan pick up his lightsaber on Mustafar?
Yeah, Obi-Wan picks up his lightsaber.
Can you tell I haven't watched the prequels in a while?
It would be kind of cool if it was just Dooku's lightsaber.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
He's like, I killed Dooku. And when you have to change, it's just like, this is Dooku's. Gives Dooku something to do in the universe.
True. This whole... I just preferred what the expanded universe did. Synth?
They used synth crystal. They weren't real kyber crystals. They were synthetic.
What, for the Sith?
Yeah.
I do remember that now, but I feel like it should just be you go find a kyber crystal, or it calls to you, or whatever. You go to that planet. That's a nice planet for some reason, not Jeddah. But you know what I mean? I feel like it should be like every lightsaber should be a journey to accomplish. You know what I mean? So it's like, but you're right. Like all Sith Lords have red. Anyways, yeah.
It's because when they kill a Jedi, they touch the crystal bleeds red.
Yeah, no, I get that.
My thing would just be like, if I did that, I'm like, why would I even touch the crystal at that point? Just leave it green or blue or whatever.
Yeah, because it just automatically tells you, like, that guy's evil.
Yeah, he killed someone, which I guess they kind of want to know. But where did Kylo get his? Because it's not like fully formed. It's like
yeah, and what Jedi did he kill? Unless they had a full academy. So that's good because I want to know about that. I want that to happen.
Or maybe his is synthetic. I don't think it is. I think actually one of the books say that there's a crystal in there.
Maybe he has Vader's thing and he's rebuilt the hilt to do the swording thingy. Let's
go to our next topic, and we can check out this picture a little bit better. No, you can't tell. No, I think Snoke got him that lightsaber. Is what I think. Maybe not. I could be wrong. But apparently he's going to have a different look in it. And you brought this up to me that we're going to find out in Empire's End, the new novel, that Lando got Kylo Ren a cape.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're saying that helped turn him to the dark side. Now, but we do know that in Episode 8, we've been told, we don't know for sure, I guess, but we've been told that he will be wearing a cape. Sans chain. So could it be the same cape?
When I read that, all I can envision is like a child version of Adam Driver on a birthday party, or maybe a teenager, and he's like, "Thank you, Uncle Lando," and he puts the thing on and just spins around, and like Han's like, "That kid ain't right," because he's
But this is a cool way, like this, not a cool way. This could be a way for them to explain where Lando was, and they'd be like, "There was a rift between Han and Lando." That's
pretty. Somebody's smart, and it's a young adult like novel. Like it's not that I'm sure it'll be good, but you know what I mean.
No, it's not a young adult novel.
That was young adult.
No, it's a full adult novel. Lost Stars is young adult, and that's the best one. This one though, you will.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the Ray or not Ray, the Jin and Saw book, and then Keeper of the Wills.
Yeah, Guardians of the Wills would be cool. As
that's
an adult
Guardians
novel.
of the Wills. Yeah, so it's young adult. That one. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I forget what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
This is the way we do things here. I forget.
Are we following the script? There's a script.
There's a script. There is actually, but he's gonna have a different look. Do you think it's impressive? How impressive is it that we have not seen a picture of Kylo Ren yet from episode, or anybody from episode 8? Nothing from episode 8 except for Croatia.
Look at these aliens in tuxedos.
Ireland.
Weird.
Yeah, like we haven't seen anything. They're saving it for the trailer. Will Kylo Ren be Kylo Ren, or is he going to look more like Vader?
Well, he's definitely going to have a scar on his face. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious because we see how his face gets slashed. Do you think he's going to have any robotic parts? Because he got cut up pretty good.
Shot pretty good, too.
I
don't know.
I feel like we're definitely going to see a helmet. Because
same helmet.
Okay, yeah.
I think same helmet.
Why change it? Like Vader gets busted up a whole bunch of times, and he continues to look the same.
And the thing is, Disney, Lucasfilm, new era is pushing him to be the face of the franchise, right?
True,
like
true,
Kylo
true,
Ren,
true.
he's on all the merch.
Yeah, yeah.
So how do you change his mask, his helmet? How do you change that? You can't do it.
No. So you keep the same helmet. I think he'll wear it quite a bit because I think the character likes to wear. Oh, I mean, it's a Sith, or he's not a Sith.
He's not a Sith.
He's evil, and in the Star Wars universe, they like to mask who they are because this is their new identity, right?
Yeah.
Even Palpatine is always cloaked, mostly because he wants to hide his face. But like, Darth Sidious. Palpatine's all good with his face. It's almost like he knew his face was gonna get scarred up, so I was like, "Well, I'm already wearing the
might
hood."
as well just start this way.
Yeah, maybe no cape. I mean, what was the ratio of cape and helmet in the first one? It was sort of like mixed.
Well, he had a cloak.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying no hood,
Now it's just a flat out cape. Apparently.
right? Because it was like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, this is what we're hearing. No one knows.
I don't. Maybe this makes me not a non-Star Wars purist. It's like I don't really care if there's a cape or not. Because I mean, I loved his costume.
Yeah.
So like, I can't see why would I be upset with what he looks like in this one? Because like, just like we said, just do the same costume again. Like it's not a big deal. Like I don't know. Though I do. I'm really conflicted, you guys.
I think whatever they spin at us, I'm gonna love. So I don't even care.
So the problem with these movies is when you put these people in characters like this with masks, like Marvel's the worst for it, the Marvel movies, because it's sort of like, well, Chris Evans can't wear that helmet, but they've gotten better on it. Darth Vader was like acted by two people that weren't like able to say, oh, I want my face to be shown. You know what I mean? Adam Driver is a pretty up and coming actor, I would say, or even past that. Like, he can kind of get any role he wants. We were just talking about John Boyega. It's like he can do whatever he likes right now. So my worry is always with these movies, like, oh, the actor's gonna say in his contract, like, my face must be on screen 50% of the time. But I don't know. I don't think, from what I've seen of Adam Driver, because I'm a big fan of him, I don't think he's that vain that he's like. I think they all understand what they're in right now. It's like, whatever you want me to do, I will do it, which is a good move because it's Star Wars. It's a moneymaker.
Yeah, I think he should be masked, but I think he's gonna definitely take off. I think I will say in The Force Awakens when he took off his mask to talk to Rey.
Yeah,
I don't know if he should. Like his reveal should have been with Han at the end. I think that's more impactful if he takes it off. Because at that point Han's like, take it off, I want to see the face of my son, and we're all like, what does he look like? But we know what he looks like because we already saw him. So you lose a little bit of the impact. But I mean, it doesn't bother me when he takes it off with Rey so much. I would like to see him in it the whole time. Personally, I don't need to see his flowing hair and make me jealous. I
think they even made a point when he takes the helmet off for Rey, saying, "I'm a normal person."
Yeah, he's not injured. He's not scarred. There's no volcano.
But if they hadn't done, it's like, this is my face, would have been just as good, sort of thing.
Well, I'm just saying when Han Solo says,
but yeah,
the face of my son, there's an impact for the audience at that point because we don't know who's under there.
Yeah.
Right, and then it's like, oh, is it the face of his son or is it some scarred up? Oh no, it's just a regular guy with 70s hair.
It's just the guy from Girls.
It's the guy from Girls,
which is prepared again, and I loved it.
Said that movie was better than the prequels. He did say it. But speaking of Kylo Ren, let's move on. What is this nonsense? Raylo, we shipped them.
Oh my god, I've never shipped someone before.
Well,
this
we
is
didn't.
Great.
This is a thing.
I've shipped by UPS.
We didn't.
That's a good dad joke.
Apparently, on the commentary for The Force Awakens, which we have not heard because we bought the Blu-ray when it first came out. Apparently, J.J. Abrams somewhat hints at it. I have not heard it, so I can't comment on that. But there's a lot of talk about the Rey. It's been around forever. There's drawings of him making out with Rey and him making out with Hux, and it's everywhere. Yeah. So, but Disney has updated their website to include Kylo Ren and Rey in their description. Yes. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I read this.
That they have a mysterious connection, which we already knew because it's been said 1 billion times, but people are running with it, so whatever. So they have a mysterious connection How do you feel about this mysterious connection? Is it mysterious? And do you think they're related?
This whole shipping thing has thrown me off because the article I read figured that they were siblings or something like that.
Yeah.
And when shipping, it's usually like
romantic.
no.
J.J. Abrams apparently hints at that. I don't know what he says. I haven't heard it. I'm gonna buy the Blu-ray I think tonight, and I'll just buy it and I'll let you know what they say. I'll watch. Is there a way I can just get the commentary? Can someone just send me the commentary of it? That's all I want. I have the movie. I have like 4 versions of it, but no commentary on it.
Yeah.
iTunes, Google Play, Blu-ray. That's 3 versions, and none of them has a commentary. I think I have it on PS4 too. I have it everywhere. No commentary. Don't make me buy it again.
I don't. This now because everything's digitally downloaded that like they don't put an importance on that stuff anymore. I'm like,
my Star Trek Beyond has a commentary on it. I bought the iTunes and Google Play, and I don't know if Google Play does, but iTunes has a commentary. Yeah. So look, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
How do I get it?
So I'm still on. I do. Man, I'm bad at like being a fan.
Tell me what you read where it hinted at them being siblings. That's interesting. Like that intrigues me. Was it just somebody saying I think they're related, or was it like evidence shows that blah 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 blah?
It sort of hinted that they are related in some way. Either she's a Skywalker or she's a Solo. Right? I don't want either to happen because I feel like that's too. It's too. I don't know how you make that work. I think but I never took it as a romantic sort of relationship. Or well, I guess their connection. Yeah, they just meet, so there is no romance. Your shipping theory threw me off.
It's not my theory.
So then they. So why are they? What you read said that they're like.
And apparently J.J. Abrams hints at it in the commentary.
Yeah, because it mentioned that. Oh, actually, I don't think I heard about the commentary. I heard about the Disney database or the Lucasfilm database included.
Which is where this. I decided
it
to
comes from the commentary. Gotcha. I don't know, man. Like
they updated the database, but J.J. Abrams has already said that Kylo Ren knows about this girl. Like he knows who Rey is. He just has never met her yet. And then they put this on the database, and all of a sudden it exploded. And I'm trying to figure out what the difference is between it being on the database and what J.J. I guess it's official now.
Yeah.
But he said it, so obviously he's not going to say. Well, yeah, he also said that Khan wasn't in Star Trek 2.
I think we're living in ambiguity right now. Like we don't know until we watch Last Jedi. We need more information. You can say all you want about anything, and it doesn't matter, because there's a lot of situations where you can say, "Oh, Kylo's reaction is because he knows who that is." And
at the end of the movie, like I said, in the book, I still want to know in the comic, but in the book, in the Lego game, he says it is you.
Yeah, exactly.
I want J.J. Abrams. I know you're watching. I need somebody to comment on it and just tell me why that is not in the movie. Was it written for the movie, or was it something that? Oh man, I read that. I gotta get my hands on the script. Does it? Because I know in the script you can that, and in the book it says that she heard like a voice pulling her to like saying the dark side. But is that line in the script, or does it say? I think that maybe it says at that moment Kylo who knew who she. But why would you not say it verbally? There has to be a reason, and I feel like, honestly, I'm starting to think that this whole mind wipe thing is coming true. This whole Rey was mind wiped. Maybe Ben was mind wiped. Maybe Han was mind wiped. Maybe Leia was. Maybe it's their kid. Because the thing with The Force Awakens, and as Aaron was on last week, my wife Aaron was on last week, and we watched The Force Awakens right before the episode.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, she's a Skywalker." And we watch the movie. She's a Solo.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, when you watch it, and Daisy Ridley said, I thought it was obvious who. I don't know if she said who her parents were, but she thought it was obvious who her heritage was. Right.
Right.
And the thing is, when you watch it, Han Solo gives her so many looks.
Yeah.
And they're not just like, girl. They're kind of like, oh, like he at some point in his subconscious, he knows who she is, and he gives her these looks a lot.
Yeah, I still think it's ambiguous though. I mean, one mind wipe is just an easy out.
Yes, it is.
I would accept it, but like,
well, that's the thing. Like, there has to be a good reason for it, and there has to be a purpose for it. But if they all get, but what? Snoke knows who she is too, though. So if everybody was mind wiped, maybe Snoke is like, well, we'll just keep her aside. But wouldn't he want her? But but Snoke does kind of want her because he's like, bring her to me, because maybe he's like, oh, she's the other Solo that can help turn. Wouldn't it be cool if 2 Solos faced Luke Skywalker?
It just feels like a Freaky Friday, not Freaky Friday, but like I could buy that if so. It would be like an homage to the Luke and Leia relationship. If you assume that either Rey and almost Rey Solo, if those 2 characters are siblings or even twins, and maybe they have some cool force power that unlocks something, and somebody mind wiped one of them or both of them and changed who they are so they went in 2 opposite directions. Maybe, but then like
last week there was a lot of talk of Rey being a clone of Luke's hand.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch on that today. Let's touch on that next week.
Yeah,
we'll go full into that next week because that I think is going to take a lot of time.
Would that make her a hand Solo? That doesn't work because it's Skywalker.
It's going to make her a hand Skywalker. We'll go into that next week, I promise. Because we need to do research on that. Because like those comments came out, but that's not the first time we heard it either. A friend of ours has mentioned it to us as well when we first started this podcast. Yeah. Sean Cron, a friend of ours, he brought it up to us right away. He's like, "She's a clone of Luke's hand." That was the first thing he said to us. And I've read all the books, and I hear where you guys are coming from.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that next week. I'm not going to give an opinion on it one way or another right now. I need you to do some research on that so we can, because that's something that you have to like just read and whatever. But yeah, so Reylo could happen. You know what? A part of me is like, when I saw The Force Awakens and Han Solo died, and there was still talk that she could be a Solo Rey. I was like, well, now you've cheated her out of that family reunion with her father. But my biggest gripe with The Force Awakens, and I don't know if it's going to be redeemed or not going forward, is Rey's ability to use the Force and not even use the Force, but know how to use a Jedi mind trick, like with no explanation. That I feel like, and I know I'm not the only one, she somehow, some way, she would have to have learned how to even begin a Jedi mind trick.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because you can have the Force can be strong with you, like Anakin was, and he could fly it, and he can drive a pod racer, fly a pod racer.
Yeah.
You can know how to do this. You can have the Force. You can sense something around you, but the ability to trick someone's mind.
Yeah, to understand that, like, if I talk to him in this way and force my will on him, he'll listen to me. It's sort of, it is true.
Like that is the one flaw that I will say at this point.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Like this is like, and I love the movie and everything, and there are a lot of flaws, sure, in the movie, but I can give them all a pass. I don't care. It's fun, but that one part, I remember when I watched it the first time, I was like, that's weird. Maybe they'll explain it.
I think we ignore it because it's a funny little scene.
Yeah,
and it's sort of like,
but it's a huge scene. Like, it means a lot.
Oh yeah.
And then Kylo Ren says she's growing stronger, but even if she's growing stronger, she still has no one has ever taught her. She's never learned how to do this stuff. So this is why the mind wipe, I will kind of get behind and understand this. I feel like there needs to be but we don't know if that's gonna happen.
I mean, it would work because like the way the Force vision worked, it's flashes of things, and usually when we see a mind wipe in a movie or like a comic, or it's always like the control of the mind starts breaking down, and you get flashes of things because it's sort of like your subconscious. We're like, hey, remember this? So.
Yeah, so she could be a clone of Luke's hand, and that's just she's just seeing his memories.
It's just, I think
she is actually, sorry to interrupt, but if she's a clone of Luke's hand, she is kind of seeing Luke's memories in that flashback, with the exception of her on Jakku.
That's true.
Yeah,
I think as long as the story is engaging and makes sense, they can do whatever they want. But I feel like I don't see them going back to the well on a same kind of plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just want there to be an explanation for how she knew how to do a Jedi mind trick.
True.
That's all I want. Just a settle. You know what? For me, guys, Lucasfilm, you can put it in a book. I don't care. I just want to know how. That's it. I love the movie, but that scene comes. You're like, well, how does she know this?
I've never thought of it like that. So yeah, I can agree. That's sort of
I
a
will.
plot hole.
I will
You're like,
sign.
what?
I will kind of buy her being able to grab the lightsaber out of the snow.
Yeah, and that stuff like everyone's sort of like trying to grasp. So if you all of a sudden, I mean, the force just sort of happens. It's like, and then you're like, oh, I want that, and then you have that power and it zooms into your hand.
But the controlling someone's mind.
Yeah, that's a little.
That one they need to figure out. But anyway,
Interesting.
let's just.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, what do you guys think? Let us know. Is that a plot?
What do
hole,
you
or
guys,
are you guys
and girls think?
Or do you think that we're crazy? No, it makes complete sense because Ezra in episode 2 of Rebels, point 5, he makes a gun lightsaber. Which, by the way, look, I love Rebels.
Yeah.
And I think it would be totally cool if Benicio del Toro played an old Ezra. But the minute he made a gun lightsaber, I think kind of nixed him appearing in film. Because it's a cool, look, it's a cartoon for kids. Yeah. Let's not forget that. And a gun lightsaber is awesome. And if I was a kid, I would totally want that toy, right?
Yeah.
But if you're going to make him a serious character in a movie, can he start with a gun lightsaber?
And then they just sort of just write it completely out. Like, does he lose his lightsaber and that's why he gets a new one? Have they explained why Ezra has a green one?
I feel like they did. I just jumped through that. I just got season 3 on my Google Play.
I've rewatched that show, I feel like 3 times now, or like in not all the way through, but like I feel like I've watched a lot episodes at least 2 or 3 times, and there's still stuff that I'm missing, or I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something when I'm watching it, so I'm missing that. I don't know.
You're not watching Rebels. You're watching Clone Wars.
I'm watching Clone High.
All right, let's move on to Never Tell Me the Odds.
Never tell me the odds.
The odds. This is where Brock and I discuss a topic and we say whether or not we think the odds are high or low when we give a percentage on the odds. And today's odds are brought to you by Rebel Scum Podcast.
Rebel Scum Podcast.
So here we go. So we know that day 2 of Celebration will be Rian Johnson.
Yeah,
and
that's exciting.
The Last Jedis. But what is day 1? Because I believe day 1 has been when they've had these big. Was Rogue One was day 1, and I think the Force Awakens trailer with Chewie We're Home was day 1. So here's a question: could day 1 be? But just the overall odds. It doesn't have to be day 1. But I'm thinking maybe this could be day 1. Do they announce Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan in an Obi-Wan standalone movie?
It's gonna be surprising because I've been pretty adamant on like an Obi-Wan movie would be awesome. But thinking about this, 30%. I feel like I don't know. I don't know if it fits their scope of what they want to do.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what their scope is. I think we're gonna learn something at Celebration.
I just like a Rogue One movie and a Han Solo movie make sense to me for some reason. Reality is Obi-Wan. I don't know. Like Han Solo, you can make a movie because they're like, he's a smuggler. He hangs out with a walking carpet. And he has a sweet spaceship, and he's just part of he hangs out with bounty hunters and like and assassins and stuff like that. So like that's 3 movies right there. It's basically Pirates of the Caribbean.
I'd watch
it. Sorry, that is a bad comparison, but like it's a no-brainer. A Han Solo movie, boom.
And he's so popular.
They could make a Dash Rendar movie and be like, yeah, this is awesome.
I'm gonna say 51%.
Interesting.
I agree with you. I would like to see what their plan is. I don't 100% think it's going to happen, obviously. And I'm very close to not thinking it's going to happen, but I kind of do think so because Ewan McGregor's been very vocal about it.
Yeah.
Apparently they had like 3 different pitches for an Obi-Wan movie years ago. When Disney first bought them, there was like 3 pitches or something. And it would make sense in a way to do it if you're not going to do Boba Fett. Because it could be Boba Fett announced. Because Boba Fett they still want to do, I mean, but Obi-Wan, I think they have an actor to play him, who's famous,
the right age,
and he's not super famous, but he's famous, and he wants to do it. He's fine with it.
So you'll make the fans happy.
The fans will be happy. It doesn't have to be a prequel movie. It can be like the new, like the original trilogy era prequel style, like Rogue One was, where it's still old. The only issue that I have with it is what you're reading in the comics, like. Now you've done this in the comic, so where does the story take place? I mean, like, there's a lot of time, but he can't be called Obi-Wan because that's the name he has not heard in a long time.
Would the movie just be called Kenobi?
It'd be called Kenobi, and then no one would call him Obi-Wan the whole movie. So, I mean, it's a tough...
Old Ben.
That'd be so awesome. But the movie's just him sitting in the cantina drinking.
Hello there.
I used to be important.
I mean, it could be interesting.
It could,
you know what? No, what they could do is Last Jedi explain something about the Force or whatever that they can't really go after in the movie, and then you explain it.
Well, that's what there is that rumor that they haven't announced a Kenobi movie because we haven't learned everything we need to know about Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's when the rumors about Rey kicked off.
Yeah,
that's what sparked the Rey Kenobi rumors.
Like in the comics, Luke finds Obi-Wan's journal. So in Last Jedi, they find something that pertains to Obi-Wan or he had in his possession at some time. Then that movie centers around that.
Yeah.
That would make sense. And then, but would they do that movie before they do episode 9? Because
No, it would be the year after episode 9.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love it. Because I love it in the comics. It's great. And I know I read a lot of internet surveys that they post up, and it's like everybody wants an Obi-Wan movie and a young Yoda movie or just a Yoda-centric movie.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
My thing with Yoda is I love Yoda, obviously, but I kind of like him just being mysterious. Just kind of like leave his past alone. I don't want to go too far back. Like, I like him being wise.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him become wise.
Yeah,
I just want him to be wise. I don't want to lose respect for him. I don't want to see him drinking in college.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him hooking up with Yaddle.
Side Akbar, did you hear that Rosario Jones wants to be...
Dawson?
Rosario Jones. Rosario Jones.
Yeah,
Rosario Dawson.
And a fan actually...
Boss Logic from Instagram.
Yeah.
He did a Ahsoka version of her.
That was going to be on our news, but I nixed it for something else.
Yeah. Now it's Side Akbar.
All right, so moving on. There was also a rumor that there was going to be behind the scenes footage of The Last Jedi shown before we got a teaser for The Last Jedi. Brock, what are the odds of them releasing a behind the scenes before we get a teaser?
So we're under the understanding that we'll get a trailer or a teaser at Celebration for Last Jedi, correct?
Yeah.
So then you're saying we'll get a behind the scenes before Celebration?
Or at Celebration, like they did with Rogue One instead of a teaser.
Yeah, I'm going to go 20% because I feel like you need a teaser. Because that's what happened with Rogue One. It was like teaser. Then we saw that sizzle reel, which was kind of behind the scenes.
Do you think that maybe they're like, guess what? March 2nd, the teaser for Last Jedi. And then we get a sizzle reel at Celebration. And we've been lining up since 2 a.m. And we just see more off. More off, by the way, is that like the Wampa looking thing? But he's not a Wampa. He's a mercenary. And I want more of him.
Yeah.
I just want, he's not in my underrated thing because, I want more off.
Yeah.
Make a more off movie.
More off.
More off and pow, hanging out. And whatever. I love the character of I loved Warwick Davis's character. No idea what his name is because it's so freaking Yukijikis or whatever. It was an impossible name to remember, but I want those three hanging out. And Biston. Sure, bring in Biston. Those four in a movie that take place before Rogue One. 2 tubes, sends them on a mission.
Oh, my God.
And they're like a group. Anyway.
It's called background characters.
Background characters that look awesome.
BGC.
I'm going full Brock on this.
Fitty.
Because it was a rumor and it could be true. And I don't think it makes sense, but we also already have gotten a behind the scenes when they announced that they were shooting. It was like the weirdest behind the scenes because they're like, guess what? Rian Johnson might have directed the last scene of Force Awakens. So I'm going to go full Brock on this, 50-50.
Yeah.
It's too hard
I can agree with that too.
I don't know what their marketing is.
I feel like the new Disney regime of how the Star Wars universe works now has really like there's no rules. So it's like they keep everything tight, locked up, but then they do whatever they want to do.
Rogue One made $1 billion.
Yeah.
And the trailers are just shots.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no
from
story
a movie that we didn't see, actually.
Yeah, I know. And like you don't even know what it's really about. Like half the trailer. The first trailer is like, what will you become? What is this movie about? And then everyone's like, where's Finn? Finn got really old.
We got the idea that Jyn Erso would be in trouble and forced to work with the rebels. Yeah. And then like what's his face? Cassian and her would probably be predominantly the characters you follow.
Yeah.
But yeah, like K2SO, you had no idea he was going to be funny. Well, he kind of did.
Yeah.
But you had no, I mean, we all knew he was an Imperial droid that they reprogrammed, but the result of what he actually does in the movie is not given away at all.
Last week was my wedding anniversary. We mentioned on the show.
Yeah.
And Aaron got me an Us Weekly collector's, one of those special things on the Rogue One.
Oh, okay.
It's a magazine on Rogue One. But it has the heroines of Star Wars. And it has like Leia, Padme, Rey, and Jin. And they all have quotes, like their famous quotes in all the movies. And Jin's is, "This is a rebellion, isn't it? I rebel." And I was like, that's not even in the movie.
Yeah,
that is not in the movie.
True.
Her number one line in this book is not even in the movie. I hope we get a teaser before.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of which, let's go into our last odd. The odds of another behind the scenes, a sizzle reel of Han Solo being shown at
This is the one I like. I'm going to go 80%. I feel like they're like, Last Jedi, and boom, Han Solo. I mean, the last, in Celebration, all they had new was Rogue One, right? I mean, they probably talked to everybody that's been in Star Wars, right?
Yeah, Rian Johnson was there the last day. I think they had a bunch of the saga film characters.
Right.
Like I think John Boyega was there. Maybe Daisy Ridley. But like Leia, like Carrie Fisher was there. Mark Hamill's obviously there.
Yeah.
But they didn't show anything.
Yeah. So like they're in a situation where they could do both. You know, they could show Last Jedi stuff and Han Solo. Like real stuff. So like
and Han Solo doesn't have to be anything, but it could just be the behind, like just like
yeah,
guess
exactly.
what? We're rolling.
Yeah.
That would pump everybody up.
Even if it's just like footage of them putting on their costumes or something like that.
Oh yeah. But I haven't heard. I know Felicity Jones is going, but I haven't heard if anyone from Han Solo will be present at Celebration.
No,
they haven't
true.
announced that yet. So if they announce
might be shooting still.
Oh, they definitely will be, but this is like Disney owns it. Like this is a Lucasfilm thing, right? They would shut it down for the weekend because they were shooting Episode 8, I believe, last year during it, and they flew them over there. They were already there.
It's too bad the Star Wars theme park isn't open yet.
2019.
Especially since it's in Orlando. You know what I mean?
That's gonna be right on time for Episode 9, though.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I'm guessing we'll have the Star Wars one in Disneyland. Neither one is open, right?
No, 2019.
And it's world first, right? And then Disneyland's going to get one? Or are they both in tandem getting... I can't remember. I feel like...
I don't know.
It was the other way around. Anyways, we'll definitely see a celebration in either California and Florida soon. For sure.
Definitely. All right. Those are our odds.
Those
Let's
are our
move on
odds.
to the Hollow News.
Hollow News.
Live from Coruscant. Brock, what is on the news agenda today?
Everybody's favorite composer won another Grammy, and it's for Force Awakens, as you can see right there. So John Williams killing it as usual. This will be his 5th Grammy for the Star Wars franchise. I thought to look up how many awards he's won on music. Yeah. So yay, Star Wars, we won something.
Didn't win an Oscar. But you
Best
got a
score for visual medium.
Here's a question. A quick question.
Yeah.
Favorite music in Star Wars right now? Imperial March, main theme, Rey's theme,
Maz Kanata's theme
end credits.
by Hamilton's own Lin-Manuel
Right, let's move on.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Congratulations, Star Wars Force Awakens.
Yay!
I love Rey's theme.
But we're talking about me. Okay, Han Solo's getting their first. Han Solo, the movie, rather, is getting their first female droid, being played by British actress. What's her name? I have it written down. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who is known from the series Fleabag. Or I've meant to look it up, but I don't know if it's a movie or a series. But apparently that's she wrote and directed it, I think. But she's also from the show Crashing, which is on Netflix, which is a really cool show I watched. I thought this story was interesting because it's like they're droids. They don't have gender, but apparently this one's going to be full out female.
Could be full out female, but she's also the first female to play a droid also.
Oh, okay,
right,
yeah.
So
and it's going to be the first female droid in a movie. Now we've had Expanded Universe, the TV shows, comics where there's more female. I mean, I thought the protocol droid in the beginning of Phantom Menace was female, but apparently that was voiced by a man.
Yeah, everything's been voiced by a man so far.
So
But I think it was a female, but voiced by a man. And this is going to be the first one that's just strictly female.
yeah, great. I didn't know what to do with the story. I'm like,
Well, she's a comedian.
yeah. So
She could be like a K2SO.
yeah, and she's a great character in Crashing. So like,
Yeah, so
it's a good addition. Cool.
More droids.
Robo boobs.
They know that we like droids because the droids are hitting. BB-8 hit, K2SO hit. They're knocking it out of the park with the
Did
new
you
droids.
know that people thought BB-8 was female?
Yes. Actually, that was the talk going into it, was that BB-8 was a female. And then during one of the interviews, J.J. Abrams was like, yeah, I like the little guy or something. And they're like, oh, it's a guy. It doesn't matter.
I'm more interested in the casting than whether the droid has a gender or not. Like, it really, it literally means, well, this is going to be a robot with boobs for whatever reason. Like, but yeah, she's a great actress. And another great actress, Tandy Newton, in talks to be in Han Solo. That is all there is to know about this story. She's just in talks. No character reveal. It's not for sure yet. But if you watch Westworld, amazing actress. I mean, she's been in a lot of different movies, but she's had a huge resurgence because of Westworld, which was a fantastic show. And she's technically a robot in that movie, so she could be a robot in this one. Hooray! That's awesome.
Who do you think she could play? If you just had to take a guess,
I mean,
characters that who do you think
we could
she
do
would be?
Santa Solo, I suppose, because Santa Solo is
She's the right age?
Yeah, good point. She's not young enough.
Because I read somewhere that they
or she could just they could put a whole bunch of CG or a costume on her, and she could be alien race. So it's.
I hope we get more aliens. We haven't got a lot of alien characters.
I mean,
we haven't got any alien characters really.
You can make Peter Cushing come back to life. Like, you can make it easy to like.
I joke about Moroff and Poe, but I love both of those characters. I love Poe. Sorry, Poe. I love Pow.
You should like Poe Dameron, the fastest.
But I love Pow, and
pilot.
I loved Warwick Davis's character, Heebie-Jeebie. But they're just kind of there. You don't see. Warwick Davis might still be alive. That character, we don't know. He might have died on Jeddah, but we never see like Pow's death, and we never we don't know what happens to these characters. And it would be nice if they had bigger roles. If Pow, he says Carabas, by the way, but if Pow had a
He does weird.
sometime.
Oh, nice.
But if Pow is one of the ones that, because he's mentioned, but if he had a bigger role, like if they upped him one character, instead of the human guy, they made Pow that. I think, you know, that whatever. It's a small.
No, I agree.
I just want more aliens.
What was I gonna say? Tandy Newton would be cool as Hera, but I don't think she's the age. Or
No,
she
the
would.
age would be. Well,
it wouldn't be right, right?
Well, she's an alien though. You don't know how they.
Because like, is Han Solo occurring during Rebels or prior to that? Because it's.
I would say this is going to take place years before Rebels, like 5 years before Rebels.
But she would be cool. The only reason I say Hera is just because it would be cool to see Tandy Newton with Twilight.
That'd be awesome.
Tails. Next story.
I'm down for it.
Rogue One on DVD coming out soon, possibly March 28th, but nothing is for sure. We were talking about this prior, early in the show, being 10 minutes ago. Are you gonna buy this? Because here's the problem: they put out a movie version. Okay, maybe that's a redundant question, but now we know they might not release everything we need. So it's like, we might have to buy this 4 or 5 times. Now that we have learned, are you going to wait on purchasing?
Well, they did announce when The Force Awakens came out that they were going to come out with like a bigger box set later on.
Right.
And I was like, nope, I want it now. And
Sure.
when Rogue One comes out, I'm going to say, nope, I want it now, and I'm going to get the steel book from Best Buy.
That's right.
That's what's going to happen because that's what I want. And I think I texted you the other day before I even read this story. I was like, I really want to watch Rogue One again.
Yeah, that's why I figured you were talking
and
about
I'm like, guess what? No, it was before I read this. And I'm like,
Really?
thank
That's
goodness
hilarious.
it's coming out. I was watching something and I was like, man, I wish I could watch Rogue One. I was watching The Force Awakens. I was like, I really want to watch Rogue One right now.
Well, like I haven't bought a Blu-ray since The Force Awakens.
Yeah, me too.
I'm really into the digital download on demand stuff.
You can argue me that Blu-rays look better, but when I'm on my iPad, guess what? I can't watch Blu-ray.
If the digital download is half the price, that's a no-brainer. Like,
Oh yeah.
like if I'm watching on my phone, I don't care if it's 4K. Like, I don't watch a ton on my
That's
phone,
because
but
you
I
got
could.
a cheap phone that's not 4K. You didn't get my phone. I wish I had one of those.
I don't have a 4K monitor.
I wish I had one of those big like iPads. You don't have this.
You
I
just
put it in
pull
my
out a
pocket.
TV.
I don't have a 4K TV either,
Yeah,
so that
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
doesn't matter. I was talking to somebody about 4K the other day. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah,
Because I
if
don't
the
have it.
content is engaging enough, who cares? Like,
Yeah.
if you find cat movies amazing, then whatever.
Yeah.
Uh,
But they are amazing. I don't know if you've seen Cats.
But I will say, I will do research. I mean, I was thinking about this. I will do the research of like which one do I want to buy, because I'd rather just buy a digital download and then for cheap or whatever, and then wait to spend my money on a real like physical thing to hold.
yeah, and that's why I said that I want the steel box or steel case. But if I know they're coming out with a 5-disc 3D
Yeah.
Blu-ray
Yeah,
HD 4K 2D UHF version of it,
With
I might-
copies of the scripts for the next 6 movies.
I might get, on this one I might get the iTunes version.
yeah.
And then when that comes out, I'll use that code and I'll
Yeah.
get the Google version.
Yeah. And here's my solution to our quandary. We just wait for Rob to buy something and we ask him what's on it.
He
Because
doesn't watch
Rob McDonald will buy everything.
this. He doesn't watch this anyway. I found that out the hard way. What's is this our last story? What's our last story?
Jimmy V is the
Rob
new
McDonald.
R2. Jimmy V, the actor, will be taking over, or already has technically, the role of R2 in The Last Jedi Awakens. That's not the movie.
From his snap. That's what's going around the internet right now. and
Is
it's
that how it
stopping.
announced? Like he
I mean, he just said it's been an honor filling in for the legendary Kenny Baker.
Yeah, So he trained, I believe. Well, he didn't train
Yeah.
him. He's an actor already, but I think he worked with Baker a lot. Probably Force Awakens, I guess, would have been the last time, and he learned from Kenny like this is how R2 would do this, and this is how R2 would do that. So he's definitely, and probably that's the same thing that's happening with Peter Mayhew in the new Chewbacca. Like, they act like this, which is brilliant.
And new Chewie is in it a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's pretty awesome. What else do I have here? You might know Jimmy V from Doctor Who if you're a big Whovian. But he was one of the goblins in Harry Potter and the Gringotts.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's got quite a good acting resume. So
And
I
he
think we
seems
should be
excited
good.
to be part of the Star Wars universe.
There's something about him when I saw that picture. I was like, he looks. Okay, I don't think I've seen. I've seen Harry Potter, but I don't like. He's like, oh, it's that Goblin guy. And it wasn't like that. There's something about him that looks. Maybe he looks similar to Warwick Davis. He looks similar to Kenny Baker a little bit, but I don't think that really is it. I know. I just feel like I've seen him before, but I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for the Hollow news.
That's it.
We're going to move on to a little segment we call Underrated Characters.
Underrated.
We've been doing this for
characters.
the last 4 weeks. We've been doing this, and Brock and I have been picking
Mm-hmm.
underrated characters. And so far, our underrated character list consists of Captain Phasma, Dexter Jetster, Admiral Akbar, Admiral Piet, Bodhi Rook, Tanwi, the best, K2SO, Uncle Owen, Wicket, Prince Zizor, Shizor, Wes Jansen, Dash Rendar, and Edrio, Two Tubes, Lewis.
What a rogues gallery of characters! Like really splattered across the whole
half
thing.
of the cast of characters of Rogue One are on that list.
Are they?
So there's like 3. Okay. So,
you're
now
right.
we've come down. This is our final week. We have 3 selected, and and only 2 of them are gonna walk away. Brock will pick one. I will pick one at the end.
Yeah.
The 3 that I have selected to talk about today are Greedo, Pedrangal, and Bail Organa.
Ooh la la! What?
Here's
a
my
choice.
argument towards all 3 of them being perfect. Greedo's Greedo.
Yeah.
I really want Greedo to show up in the Han Solo movie. I want to see him have a relationship with Han Solo, and I want that death to mean something.
Yeah.
That would. I mean, it doesn't need to. It's not taking away from it, but you know that they know each other, and I think they have some sort of disrespect for each other. I don't even think they respect each other that much. But I would like to see maybe at one point they did, and now they hate each other's guts completely.
It's like Wes Mantooth and Ron Burgundy in the Ron Burgundy films, where it's like they kind of respect each other, but they also hate. Or no,
Yeah.
no, it's like Jim and Dwight from The Office.
Yes, that's what it
it's
is. I would watch that movie. If that is the Han Solo spinoff, I'm in. My next one is Pedron Gal, a.k.a. Red 5.
That's
from
awesome. I'm loving
from-
you found the name
from
on this.
from Rogue One. He's on the list because if he does not die, Luke Skywalker does not
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to be Red 5, and then the Death Star destroys Yavin 4. And guess what? There's no more movies. Or maybe there are. Maybe the movies are more interesting. Maybe he ruins Star Wars. Maybe if Yavin 4 gets blown up,
Yeah.
and everyone on there gets blown up, and it's just Han and Luke now, and they're like, what the heck? And they go on their own pirate missions.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
new Star Wars. Alternate universe Star Wars. Bail Organa adopted princess.
They should do
Leia.
that. What if?
Yeah,
you know?
that'd be an awesome one. Bail Organa adopted Princess Leia because him and his wife always wanted a daughter. And he brought her to Alderaan, and we learned on Rogue One that he trusts his daughter with his life, and that causes him to blow up.
And then he moved to New York and became detective partners with Jimmy Smits.
Yes.
That'd be hilarious if someone figured out a way to
With
like link
Dennis
that.
Franz.
Dennis Franz.
But those are my three. I enjoy all three of
Not
these
Jimmy
very
Smits.
much.
He is. I'm sorry. Sipowicz.
Brock, your three.
Boom. Jabba the Hutt, Wedge Antilles, and Bosk. Now, Bosk is an obvious. I just said bounty hunters, bounty hunters, bounty hunters, bounty hunters. And we've gotten a little taste of Bosk from Clone Wars. I would like more. I don't know. He just Trandoshans just seem really cool. I would like that. Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, I know this is kind of a weird choice because we've seen a lot of Jabba the Hutt stuff and expanded stuff, but I feel like wouldn't it be cool to learn like to actually hear the inner thoughts of a Hutt gangster? Now we kind of got that with Gardola the Hutt in not Gardola, Zero the Hutt in Clone Wars, who could actually speak English, who could understand what he's saying. But you're kind of like, I don't feel like you get enough. Like, what if it was like Jabba the Hutt, but in like a Soprano style kind of show or something like that, where he's like in charge of this like.
I would watch. Well, I'd watch anything with Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like there's more you could learn with a character. I would love to get more like Nal Hutta and like see what that is all about. And then Wedge Antilles, like he's always a great character. Why is it the actor doesn't want to play him anymore? Is that
just
the
hate it.
case?
And then apparently in Force Awakens his role wasn't big enough. And
Right.
my thing against Wedge is that now he's been on Rebels.
Yeah.
He's in the Aftermath book.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
I almost feel like they're overplaying Wedge at this point.
Okay.
my
Well, I don't
concern.
read those things, so your point is not valid. That's not true. I thought about it. Wedge would be. He's always been a favorite character of mine. In the expanded, it would be this. If you could get the actor to come back and he could look whatever he wants to look like, and it could be like him. Like it should be like The Hobbit, where Bilbo's like narrating, not The Hobbit, sorry, Lords of the Ring sort of thing. And it's like, well, this is what it was like when I was. No, sorry, it was The Hobbit. It's like this is what it was like when I was young, and then it changes to a totally different character. That way, you could make a Rogue One Part 2, in a sense, or call it Rebel Squadron or something.
Just get another actor to play him.
Yeah. Oh, true. But I think.
I mean, somebody could look like him. He's older now. You can get an older actor to play him.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
This is Wedge,
Or
by
not
the
do
way.
that at all, and just like this is Wedge Antilles, and who no one besides us are gonna really care, but we'll want to see it.
I really thought that at the beginning of Aftermath, the book, if you read the opening
Yeah.
scene, the opening chapter, I thought they were killing him off right away.
Oh yeah.
I thought they're gonna kill Wedge,
Yeah.
and he survives, and he survives, and he survives. All right, so those are our 6 for this week. Brock, why don't you go ahead and pick one? Make the right choice. Do you want to see the list of all of them again? Or are you good?
I'm gonna go with only one. There can only be one, James, like the Highlander.
These are all the ones that are there right now.
Right.
In case you're wondering, I know you're not.
It's gonna be a toss up between. Do we have any? Has any of the bounty hunters made this list? No. It's gonna be a toss up between.
The bounty hunters you've picked have been
one-sided background characters.
yeah, they-
BGC, they're perfect for BGC.
IG-88 almost made it, but I went with Shizor instead.
I am going to say you're gonna like this one, Bail Organa.
That surprised the heck out of me.
I make the choice now. So yeah, I'll go with Bill again. It would be, he could be your bridge to a movie that's just about rebels or something like that, or I don't know. What would it? I know we're not creating a new movie, but like what could you put him else? What else could you put him in? You know what I mean? He's a good character though.
You could throw him anything that takes place between Sith and New Hope. You could throw him in anything.
What if he was a Force ghost and he's just narrating some random story?
He was a Jedi the whole time?
Yeah. Anyways, what's your choice?
I have a question. Why did you not pick Greedo as one of your bounty hunters?
Because you said you already picked him. I love Greedo. Like,
I wasn't going to use Greedo until you didn't pick him. That's why I asked for your list first.
yeah, no.
I'll go with Greedo then.
Okay,
You're
perfect.
with that? We'll go with Greedo.
I can agree.
But I
on
do
both
want
those.
Jabba the Hutt on there. But I feel like you said, is Jabba underrated? I don't know if he's underrated. Like, we love Jabba, right? Is Wedge underrated? Probably Wedge is the most underrated of all the characters we picked.
Or maybe it's just a matter of take that character and make a new character exactly like them.
Yeah.
I have zero problem with that. Like,
So we're good with Greedo and Bale?
yeah.
All right, sorry, Wedge.
Jabba's probably going to be in Han Solo at some point. Like,
And Wedge is in all the books because the actor's being...
Yeah.
Because the actor doesn't want to associate himself with Star Wars anymore. He's ruined it. Yeah, Wedge would have been cool in Force Awakens. Just having him back.
yeah,
As like an old...
an
like
old
just-
dude.
Yeah, like somebody that can guide them. I don't know, there's no small actors. There's no small parts, only small actors. Shakespeare. All right, let's move on to
Books and comics.
books and comics. Tell me you have a book today.
Am I supposed to have a book?
I would hope so.
Do you have a book?
Yeah, I have one I can pull. I'll go with the. I'm just gonna go in general. The Star Wars Shakespearean. Speaking of Shakespeare, the Shakespeare. I brought it. I don't know where it is.
Oh yeah,
It's in the
those
hallway.
books are awesome. Hold
Yeah,
on.
it's awesome. They do the Star Wars, all 6 movies, but they're written as Shakespearean plays, and I really highly recommend checking that out. I got one from a friend of ours, Dwayne and Anna, for my birthday last year. Or was it for Christmas?
Oh really? Did they give you?
Was it Christmas? It was Christmas 2 years ago.
Cool.
Birthday, they got me the yarn book with Star Wars characters are created.
Oh yeah. That one's sweet.
It's pretty. That'll be my next week's book. But the Shakespeare, all 6 of them. I only have the first one, but I've gone to the bookstore and I've read them. Check those out; they're very fun.
I picked this up a couple weeks ago.
Yes, you did.
It's the Rogue One behind the scenes magazine for Rogue One. It's kind of cool. What sold me on it immediately was just pictures of characters and they had their names. Not main characters, just like side characters. But it's a beautiful book. Like, look at the shots in there. That's awesome. Where is it? Here we go. I flipped open to this page and it was like, oh, sweet. Like, there's Admiral Raddus. We already knew who he was. But you get like, I think it was like this, the female X-Wing pilot, and it has a name. Her name is Zaldinez, Red 8. I'm like, sold. I will buy this. But it also has some cool concept art
nice.
in the back that I'm sure is in the book that they put out with all the concept art that I actually want to buy by $60, but I'll probably just buy it off Amazon. So this was a cheap way to see that stuff, and it was cool. Yeah, I feel like these are the new collector's items. Like, I think like the stuff that you like just randomly come across, this is what you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's books and comics. Sorry, I'm behind on comics.
That's okay. That was a good. That's an interesting. I really want to read that book. I hadn't even heard of it before. So that's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah.
All right, let's move on to. Let's not move on. Let's move on to
That's cool. I like
the
that
final segment. I know I saw this on thing.
Top five.
Today's top 5 are top 5 funny characters as selected by our viewer Rogue Jin.
Yeah, Rogue Jin. What up?
Rogue Jin, thank you very much for paying attention. and
Follow
supporting
Rogue
us.
Jin on Instagram at
Yeah.
Rogue Jin.
Rogue Jin.
Some cool Battlefront stuff.
Yeah, some really cool Battlefront stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so it's top 5 funny, hilarious characters. All 5 on my list are Jar Jar Binks. So I'm done. Brock?
My top 5. I don't know if this really falls under funny, but I needed 5
Are you
things.
going to go with 5 bounty hunters?
No. My number 5 is Han Solo. Now, he's not jokey, but his sarcasm at weird... He's kind of like a sarcastic Spider-Man where he'll just say weird things at the weirdest time.
Yeah.
So, but it was funny. I mean, like, Harrison Ford, and I would argue Han Solo's role primarily in Force Awakens is to make jokes. Like, it's...
Yep. That's not how the Force works.
Out of my way, ball. It's like, you know how one of these works? Yeah. So Han Solo, I mean, it's a different type of humor. I guess it's not something someone thinks of automatically because he is an important character and well developed, well acted. But he's kind of funny. I don't know. You're number 5.
Jar Salacious Crumb.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't do it at all.
Yeah.
Salacious Crumb because not so much now, but when I was a kid, he always made me laugh. And he has a stupid laugh, and it's ridiculously awesome. And he kind of serves no real purpose other than to be a Muppet sitting on another Muppet. He's funny looking. He's funny talk sounding. And he has a name, Salacious Crumb, which is hilarious on its own that he has a name. So that's my number 5. My number 4 is everyone's favorite Imperial droid converted into a rebellion droid.
Really?
Ushk K2SO.
Wow, this is higher up on my list.
Yeah, well, this is
interesting.
This is not your list. It's only 5. It's not.
Yeah.
He's funny. I like him a lot. But when you see my other ones, you're going to be like, yeah, I guess. I mean, like every list, I love them all. You, number 4?
Number 4, Watto. Just the way he talks is funny. What are you, some kind of Jedi?
I love Watto. He's not on my list. I love Watto.
So number 4.
I love.
Just number 4 for being weird.
Number 3 for me is C3PO.
Interesting. I didn't think of that one. Yeah.
3PO, because 3PO is all humor. He is essentially the original trilogy's Jar Jar Binks. They say the same lines. For real. How rude.
True.
How rude.
How rude.
You have to go through the planet core.
Oh yeah.
But C-3PO, he makes me laugh. He gets when his eyes turn on when he gets blown up in Empire Strikes Back. It's funny, and he keeps bitching at Chewbacca, and it's you know what? He's actually very entertaining. I find.
I should have thought of that one.
Number 3 for you.
Chewbacca.
Not Sebulba.
Sebulba. Which is basically just my Watto. And no, like Chewbacca is a funny character because it's sort of like he's this tall wall of fur and he's vicious kind of looking, and like Wookiees are like, oh, you don't mess with a Wookiee because they can tear a droid can't tear your arm out at the socket. But it's really funny, like he's sort of, even though you can't understand what he's saying, his back and forth with Han Solo, you understand, and it's like he's kind of afraid of certain things. Like in Return of the Jedi, he like, hey, what's this meat here? And then it's like, no, don't do that. And they get in a net. Like what movie? It's like I wish they would get caught in a net in one of the new ones because it's like that's something that is so old. Like, hey, we got caught in a net. Or in Force Awakens, like him after they get back from Murder Planet. Or no, sorry, not Murder Planet. When they get back from Maz's castle, when they land on where are the rebels in? Where's the resistance? What's that place called? Whatever. So the
Elenium system.
Yeah.
The Elenium system.
So when he's talking to the nurse and he's like, whoa, 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 then she just understands him automatically.
You must be so brave.
And it's like, oh, that sounds so dangerous.
She, by the way,
so brave.
Fact is Christopher Lee's niece.
Oh, that's awesome.
Count Dooku's niece. So she is a Sith Lord in disguise.
Nice.
She's who's your number 2?
Number 2. My 1 and 2 are like neck and neck.
I know who they are.
I'm gonna say K2SO just for
Force,
respect out of the number 1. Great character. I think I said it in past episodes. We said it last week when we were talking about underrated characters. I would love more K2SO.
Yeah,
which is doable because he's a droid. Whatever. Unfortunately, he's destroyed by the end of Rogue One, but more of him would be fantastic. Like just the way, it's so funny. And we kind of see it in the Vader series and the Dr. Aphra with 000s, where it's like he's a murderous character, or it's a droid, and it's like that it walks that boundary of like what is logical and what is like crazy. So I like that. You're number 2.
R2D2.
Ah, very nice. Very nice.
R2D2. I think it's self-explanatory. He is hilarious. He is awesome. He is spoiler alert, my number 1 droid. I've said that before. He is the face of Star Wars also.
Yeah.
He is funny. And every time I see a picture of R2, I forget how much I like R2.
Yeah. And it's not like an actual robot. It's just like RC car, and occasionally there's a dude in it.
Yeah, there's something about it that I really, really like. I love the detail on it, and he makes me feel warm and fuzzy. And my number 1.
Should we say it at the same time?
But you have a different number 1.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm interested in your number 1 now.
All right, go ahead.
Han Solo.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
I know when you said
wow.
I know. You're like, this is controversial. I'm like, well, he's my number 1 because he is hilarious and he's human friendly. And he's like, I don't know, fly casual.
Wow.
The thing with Han Solo versus K2SO versus C3PO especially. R2's a different because he doesn't speak anything. But versus like the ones that speak of the funny characters, the thing with Han Solo is he's a human. Yeah. And he speaks, and he's not like, his jokes aren't in your face like K2SOs are. This is funny. This is funny.
You know what? He's like Garfield. He's like Garfield, who's like, oh, here we go again.
But everything he's is like, it's so. And I saw an interview or read one with Lawrence Kasdan where he said when he was writing The Force Awakens with J.J. Abrams, how they were like writing stuff, and Lawrence Kasdan would like throw stuff at him and be like, that's not how Han Solo speaks. Nobody writes Han Solo better than Kasdan and Lucas even, I would say. And you can argue all you want, but Lucas, when he's like, everything's fine here, there's a boring conversation anyway. It's funny, and it's not over the top funny, but it's a nice funny. It brings a lightness. And the thing that I think what makes Star Wars so much fun is it doesn't take itself too seriously.
No.
Like Finn could easily have been on this list. He's too new, I think. But he is hilarious. He's funny, and he brings the light to it because you don't take. And Obi-Wan does it in the prequels too. Like Obi-Wan, like Ewan McGregor kind of plays it with tongue in cheek a little bit at times. You know, where it's like it's serious, but he's like, I gotta know what's going on. Hello there, you're a droid. You know, but Han Solo,
I have the higher ground.
Han Solo, I think is he's got the perfect sprinkle him in there, and it's like it's Kramer and Seinfeld.
Awesome.
You're number 1. Kramer,
Jar Jar Binks. I'm amazed that he is not on your list.
Yeah, you know what? Originally he was on my list.
Wow.
And then, can you argue any of the ones on my list?
No, they're all good choices.
That was the problem.
I guess, but like, he's really only there for like comedic effect. Like, I guess there's some plot reasons why Jar Jar is there.
Oh well, he's a Sith Lord.
And I'm not saying it like as a joke. Like Jar Jar. Guys, you can't just say, I only like this part of Star Wars. No. If you're going to embrace Star Wars, you have to love it all. You have to like Jar Jar Binks as a senator. But, like, he's just funny. I wish kind of they put more of him in the other movies, or the parts where he was in it, most of the time he's just in the background.
Yeah, especially Sith.
Yeah, and then, like, he like, does something important in that one, but like just have him say something stupid, like whatever, like who cares? Like people just got mad. I don't know. Like he says weird things at the weirdest moments, kind of like K2SO. Like
or
why
C-3PO.
Is that more? Yeah, why is
3PO
that
has
more?
The same lines.
Yeah.
I went with C-3PO over R2 because 3PO has been around longer for me.
Yeah.
Or over Jar Jar.
Yeah.
I love Jar Jar. I'm a defender of Jar Jar. I have a video on this channel defending my love for Jar Jar Binks. I love Jar Jar. I don't care. I mean, he is annoying. I can see that. But he is funny. He steps in doo-doo. His tongue gets numb for hours.
I mean, what kind of character? How can you not call a character that says, are you saying people are going to die and it's hilarious? Are you saying people will die? Imagine, imagine someone took all his dialogue but made it like proper grammatically and all that. Oh, look, there's a booba fish.
I don't have the blue ball.
Excuse me. Are we going to the Central City or whatever?
Gungan City.
Gungan City.
The planet core. I commend you. I applaud you. Your list is great. But how could they not be great at Star Wars?
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. I do. I love Jar Jar. I don't regret not having him on my list though, because I love the 5 that are on my list.
No regrets.
I find them a little bit funnier. But I think Jar Jar might be on my list if I learned to read around the time that Phantom Menace came out, and it was every time Jar Jar says "How rude," you turn the page. Because mine was R2D2, and you turn the page.
Oh, yeah,
That's how I learned to read, guys. On a little vinyl, the little 35s, that big.
Yeah.
Put it on. Not that one had to do the button, otherwise they sound like chipmunks. And then every time R2D2 went, you turn the page, and that would. Turn the page. And that's how I knew Luke was fine.
Yeah.
That is our 29th episode.
Boom.
29 weeks, unbelievable. 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much for watching. It means, we say this every week, it means the world to us that you keep tuning in and checking us out. We don't have Twitter graphics, but you can follow me at Petsafina, and you can follow Brock at
BF Spank.
Follow us. Don't not follow us. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at rebelscumbags@gmail.com. You can also follow Rebel Scum Podcast on Twitter, which is Rebel Scum Cast at Rebel Scumcast. That's how you can follow us there. If you have any ideas for a top 5 for Never Tell Me the Odds, or any news stories that you think might have gone under the radar, shoot us an email, a tweet, or write in the comments below, and we will do a solid and put you on there. Thank you, Rogue Jin, for picking this week's top 5. Brock picked the real number 1. I picked.
There can only be one.
I picked. I don't know. Fly casual. Brock.
Yes.
That's the end of our show.
Hooray!
May the force of others be with you.
Sometimes, always.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.